Arrival looks like an alien invasion movie. It isn't. 12 ships appear, and nations brace for an attack. It never comes. The aliens don't fire a shot. The real danger is us. Think about how we handle something that really matters. We don't text it. We say it in person, face to face, as if being there makes us understood. Arrival takes that instinct and quietly pulls it apart, because this isn't really a movie about reaching aliens. It's about whether we can reach anyone at all. When we meet something we've never seen before, our minds do something strange. We try to understand it by forcing it into a shape we recognize. We reach for the words we already have. Usually that works. It's how we make sense of almost everything. But when a species arrives offering humanity a gift, that same habit is what turns the gift into a weapon. The aliens never threaten anyone. The panic comes entirely from our side, from people staring at something new and seeing only what they fear. So, over the next few minutes, I want to show where the real gap in this movie lives. It isn't between humans and aliens. It's inside language itself. And the one person who learns to cross it pays a price most of us would never accept. It starts with a single word. That single word is weapon. When Louise finally asks the heptapods why they're here, the answer comes back as offer weapon. It lands like a threat. But the word was never that simple. The same sign could mean tool. It could mean technology. It could mean gift. The meaning isn't sitting inside the word. And that's the whole problem. So, if the aliens didn't send a threat, where did weapon come from? It came from us. Language is completely steeped in culture, ideology, and civilization. So we naturally make its words mean whatever we want them to. A single word can carry dozens of meanings. But what really matters is the perspective people bring to it. In the film, the Chinese team was reading the heptapods through Mahjong, a game built on winning and losing. Louise sees why that matters. A game about rivalry teaches rivalry. Feed in competition, and weapon is what comes out. The sign didn't change. The frame around it did. The message was a mirror. Each country looked into it and saw its own fear staring back. Russia's team reads another phrase as "there is no time" and treats it like a countdown to an attack. It may just describe how the heptapods exist outside of time. The way the heptapods perceive and make sense of time is very different from ours. But because people keep judging these situations from their own point of view, they can't see the truth the way Louise does. And the fallout is real. Nations cut their feeds and go dark. A group of frightened soldiers smuggles a bomb onto the ship. The danger never came from the aliens. It came from the meanings people built and then acted on. We like to picture understanding as decoding, find the right translation, and the truth pops out. But meaning isn't a locked box. Every time we understand something, we're also projecting, filling the gaps with whatever we already are, which means every message we take in has a misreading folded inside it. Perfect understanding isn't the normal state we keep failing to reach. The gap is always there. The aliens were never the barrier. We were. If we're the barrier, it's worth asking what that barrier is made of. It runs deeper than fear. The real trouble is that we can only meet something new by measuring it against ourselves. Look at how humanity greets the heptapods. The military runs the whole operation. Soldiers, weapons, hazmat suits, containment. Before anyone understands anything, the ships are already being treated as a threat to neutralize. And the first real question we put to them, what is your purpose on Earth? It sounds reasonable enough. But listen to what it quietly assumes. It assumes they have a purpose, an agenda, the way a rival civilization would. We can't even picture a visitor that doesn't want something from us. That's the trap. We treat human as the default setting for everything. What a mind is, what a motive looks like, how time is supposed to move. Anything that doesn't fit gets filed under threat, because threat is a category we already own. The heptapods are genuinely alien, and that's the one thing we can't let them be. Louise breaks the pattern, and her first move says everything. She walks up to the glass and takes off her suit. She's risking poisoning, even death. Louise is, in a sense, surrendering herself to the unknown of these aliens, and she does it for one reason alone: to understand without judging, just to understand. She writes a single word: human. Not a demand, not a warning. She isn't asking what they want. She's telling them what she is and building from there. She treats them as something to learn, not something to beat. And it works. The moment she stops forcing them into a human shape, they begin to respond. But notice how she actually reaches them. Not with a handshake, not face to face. Through a wall of glass with marks on a page. The breakthrough comes through the most distant channel in the entire movie, and that's exactly where Arrival sets its real trap for us. That breakthrough should bother us a little. We just watched the deepest connection in the movie happen through a pane of glass and a few written marks, and that quietly contradicts something almost everyone believes. The bigger the moment, the closer we want to be. Texting someone to express ourselves sometimes feels too thin. A phone call is better. But for the things that really count, we drive over and sit across from someone, because being there feels like the only way the truth gets through clean. Presence equals true understanding. Arrival breaks that rule on purpose. Louise's real connection with the heptapods doesn't come from getting closer in any human sense. It comes through a barrier, through writing that doesn't even stand for a sound. We tend to treat writing as a leftover, just a way to record the living voice. Here, it's the opposite. The writing is the living thing, and the most distant channel carries the most meaning. Louise strips off her protective suit and presses up to the glass, aching for real contact. But remember the scene where Louise steps inside the heptapod's chamber. Even though she speaks to the alien out loud, it still answers her in writing. Moreover, the closest bond in the whole story still falls apart. Louise and Ian marry. They share a child, face to face, every single day. And it breaks, anyway, on a truth she carries that he can't live with. Maximum closeness, a relationship full of love, and the gap is still there. So, what finally stops the war? Not a summit. Not a room full of leaders. A phone call. Louise reaches General Sheng on his private line and repeats his dying wife's words she somehow hasn't heard yet. That same remote, impersonal channel does what every face-to-face war room couldn't, and the fact that she already knows those words points to something stranger than distance. She already knows those words because, by this point, Louise isn't moving through time the way we do, and that shift starts with the language itself. Heptapod writing doesn't run in a line. Each symbol is a full circle, painted all at once, with no first stroke and no last. To write one, you have to know the end before you start. Louise immerses herself in that language, and slowly it rewires her. She stops feeling time as a line that moves forward. She starts seeing it the way the heptapods do, all at once. This is the gift they actually came to give, not a weapon, a new way of living inside time. And here's where the movie reframes everything. Those tender scenes of a daughter, the ones we read as Louise grieving her past, were never memories. They were the future visions reaching her early. Her daughter, Hannah, hasn't even been born yet. Even the name is a quiet clue. Hannah reads the same, forward and backward, a small, perfect loop. So, now Louise holds the entire shape of her life at once. She knows she'll have Hannah. She knows Hannah will die young, from a disease no one can cure. She knows the marriage will end over that same knowledge. The gift comes with no exit. Seeing the future doesn't give her the power to change it. She accepts her fate anyway. Knowing every loss before it lands, she still chooses all of it. That isn't her defeating fate. It's something quieter and harder. She stops fighting her own life and agrees to live it. Understanding here was never about control. It's the strength to love something while knowing exactly how it ends. We fell for it too. We saw those scenes and filed them under the past, because forward is the only way we know how to read. The film gave us a postmodern story that refuses to move in a line, and we forced it into one. The very move humanity made with the aliens, we just made with the movie. So, step back, and the whole film is making one argument. Understanding was never about cracking the code or getting the translation right. Arrival keeps showing that real understanding asks us to be changed by what we're facing, to let our own frame break. And that always costs something. Our certainty, our fear. Sometimes, the people we love most. We land back where we started. The movie opens sure that being close is what makes us understood. It closes by proving the reverse. The real bridge was never distance. It was letting what we don't understand change the way we see. Louise reads every loss her future holds and says yes anyway. In a film about reaching an alien mind, that quiet yes might be the most human thing in it. So here's the question it leaves behind. If you could see every loss coming, would you still say yes to the life? Tell me below in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.